Good morning, everybody. I am so happy that you decided you want to learn more about essential oils. We have the lovely women's health nurse practitioner, Sandy Curtis, here with us, who will start us off. And then, as a special treat, we've got Joy Summers here today, filling in for her mom, Marie Summers, Dr. Marie. And Joy comes to us. I'm not really sure where you landed from this time, Joy. She's all over the world anyway. So I'll let her explain that to you when it's her turn, okay? So, Sandy, why don't you take it away?
All right. Well, good morning, everybody. I am starting us off this month with an old favorite, rosemary essential oil. And I actually have not gotten my order yet this month, and I've used up all my own rosemary, so I can't hold a bottle up to show you. But unlike some of the oils that we sometimes talk about and have a hard time pronouncing, rosemary is really familiar to most of us. You may know it because you use it often to flavor foods like stuffing, pork, lamb, chicken, turkey, anything. So you probably already know its earthiness and its energizing scent, but you may be less aware of its impressive benefits. Its ability to cleanse may make it a wonderful addition to your cleaning products. So think of the different sprays and scrubs that we use all of the time and how much you would love leaving the aroma of rosemary once you're finished cleaning. It also has beautiful properties for keeping your hair full and healthy looking. So try adding a little bit of it to a carrier oil like fractionated coconut oil and massaging it into your scalp and your hair. There's also some early research that suggests that rosemary may help support a healthy digestive system. So when it's taken internally. So adding 1 to 2 drops to a veggie capsule could have some great belly benefits for us all. And a super easy tip, add a drop to olive oil, a marinade, or that you're using for meat or fish. Wherever you might be using fresh rosemary, I love subbing in the oil and doing a taste test. So things like focaccia bread, I often recipes say to sprinkle rosemary on focaccia bread, but you also drizzle olive oil on it. So I like to take my olive oil and just mix in the tiniest bit of rosemary oil into that, and then kind of drizzle that all over focaccia, and it is lovely. Then you're really getting that beautiful flavor. So for today, my DIY, and I actually have two. First one is a leave-in conditioning spray for hair. I couldn't resist doing this one. So what you need is a spray bottle. So this is kind of the standard glass spray bottle, but you know me, I always love repurposing bottles. So any little spray bottle that you've got will work well for this. And I also just last night was thinking, I love our rose hydrosol. And whenever I empty one of these, I think, oh, I love this bottle. I can't throw this out. This would be so great for doing a leave-in hair conditioning spray. So anyway, take your bottle, put in 2.5 tablespoons of vegetable glycerin. So, and I always say this with my DIYs, once you invest in some of these things, you use just a tiny bit for all of your recipes, and then you can make lots and lots of things. So the vegetable glycerin softens and moisturizes. That's going to be a key thing for this spray. 1 tablespoon of your fractionated coconut oil, 1 tablespoon of rose water. So again, both that vegetable glycerin and the rose water, I get at our local natural food store. You could also get them online if you don't have a local place you can grab them from. But just 1 tablespoon of that rose water. And then 2 drops of, let me find my ylang ylang, one of my favorite essential oils, and 3 drops of your rosemary essential oil. And then just fill your bottle the rest of the way up with distilled water. So combine all of those in your bottle, shake it well, spray it over your damp hair after your normal shampoo and conditioning routine. Don't rinse it out, just style your hair as usual. So the rosemary oil conditions and strengthens your hair while ylang ylang leaves your hair looking full and silky smooth. Give it a try. Your scalp and your hair will let you know what they think. So my second DIY is a super simple way to add a little passive diffusing around the house in spots where you need it most. I just saw this idea last week, and so I had to share it with you all. You've probably seen something like this before, the little Scotch brand adhesive pads. So these come, it's a felt pad that you just peel off and it has a sticky back, and then you can stick it on anything. I use these a lot around the house, like under plant pots on shelves and things. But this idea was for you to take these felt pads and stick them anywhere that you might need a little bit of deodorizing and refreshing. So think trash can lids, closets, recycling bins, storage totes where you're keeping like seasonal decorations, laundry hampers. The options are endless. So be creative with this one. You simply stick it wherever you want it to be, and then add a few drops of oil right onto that pad and refresh it as often as you feel you need to do that. I love this idea. And so if that felt pad ends up on a vertical surface, like say you decide to put it inside a cupboard door, so it's like this, just when you drizzle your olive oil on it, hold a tissue underneath it so that if any excess oil is going to drip onto your Kleenex, and then you take that Kleenex and throw it into a drawer, and now you're deodorizing again somewhere else. So waste nothing. Always remember, if you're looking for a solution to a problem around the house or the yard, there just might be an oil for that. Google it or type it into the search bar on your doTERRA page and see if the blog has an answer that you're looking for. I love looking through the blog to find lots of creative answers there. Non-toxic, all natural, and more convenient if you already have an oil on hand. So we do love our oils. And when you get that mindset to think, is there an oil for that? That's all it takes. So you've got this. Have an oily day. And I am going to pass you off next to Joy Summers with some of her wonderful wisdom.
All right. That was awesome. Yeah, rosemary is literally one of my favorites. So I live in Dubai and the water quality out there is awful. And putting just a little bit of rosemary in my conditioner and rubbing it into my hair has been a game changer. So I loved all that info about rosemary. So I am here, very last minute spontaneous, to talk about tea tree oil, which is also known as melaleuca. So I put together a little script. I haven't memorized all of this. I do know like the key benefits, but I want to introduce you guys to this lovely little bottle of tea tree. It smells delightful, actually. So tea tree comes from the leaf of the Melaleuca plant, which is native of Australia. And for hundreds of years, it was the Aboriginals that actually used it for healing properties. So they would crush the leaves and then apply it to cuts, scrapes, insect bites. And they would also breathe in the steam of the boiling leaves to help with any kind of coughing, cold, immune, system things. So some of the benefits, number one, it fights bacteria, fungus. It's really good for like skin and nails and even some cleaning. It also supports hair with scalp dryness and like dandruff. And it's great for any kind of I don't know if I can say that, but like any kind of skin issues. Okay, so what is really great that we can do is just take a little bit of the tea tree, dilute it with some fractionated coconut oil or some kind of base, and then apply it to any of the skin irritation. So I've just come back to New England where the ice cream here is amazing. It's like the best ice cream I've ever had. So I've been breaking out like crazy, and I am now using this all over my skin at night to kind of reduce the inflammation in all of these pimples on my face. It's also a natural deodorizer and it's an air purifier. So let's see. We're gonna do a little DIY, and I want to share with you guys how to do some tea tree oil remover makeup wipes. So what we've done here is we took a roll of paper towels, cut it in half, and then took out the cardboard that's in the middle. And then you want to find a jar that you can kind of like cover this with. And so the recipe here is 2 tablespoons of witch hazel, 2 tablespoons of, we have the fractionated coconut oil, 2 tablespoons of distilled water, and then a couple drops of your tea tree, and then obviously the paper towel. So you combine all of the ingredients in a small bowl and then add your tea tree oil, cut that tube of toilet paper obviously in half, put it in the jar, and then shake it. And this can be used to like wipe off your makeup. It's also, like I said, for, treating any kind of blemishes on your face. And then, gosh, I was reading one, I can't remember where I found it, but if you put just a cotton ball with some of the tea tree oil and put it in your shoe overnight, it acts as like a natural deodorizer, and helps to take out some of that smell. Oh, also really great for treating cuts, wounds, burns, skin infections. Like one of the best things that I've learned is like you take frankincense, lavender, and tea tree. And any kind of burns, bites, any kind of skin stuff, tea tree is like the go-to essential oil for that. What else? Give me 1 second. Let me take a quick look at my notes here. I did also read, so some fun facts. During World War II, the Australian soldiers literally carried this oil in their first aid kits. And so, like I said before, they used to crumple the tea tree leaves with their feet and steam it. And that's also how we're extracting it now, the vapor coming from to get it into this little bottle. Um, let's see. So another fun fact is that mold doesn't like it, and that's why it makes such a great homemade cleaner. So it's not going to mold like in your shoes, for example. And I think that's all I have prepared. So I will hand it over to Roxanne.
Thank you, Joy. Well, you ladies have given us some really good information, and we really appreciate that. And you know what? Another thing that I just wanted to point out is Rosemary is 10% off this month. So if you need it, you want to get it, and you can get, I think, up to 4 or 5 at a time. And the tea tree happens to be our free product of the month. So the little bottle of tea tree is what we get free when we place a 125 PV rewards order by the 15th, or for those of you who are smart enough to be using VMG Plus and E Omega Plus when you order that or bundle it in another, like the foundational wellness kit or bigger kits, you will get that free product of the month any day of the month that your order goes in with the VMG and E Omega Plus. So that's something else to think about. Now, I did want to also share with you Rosemary. This is one of my secrets for healthy long eyelashes is I am putting in a brand new mascara tube, I put in 2 drops of lavender and 2 drops of rosemary oil into my mascara tube, shake it up. I mean, even my dentist the other day says, "What do you do for your eyelashes?" And I had to explain it to her. So, and Joy says she does that
Wait,
too.
no,
So
I have a
that's,
question. Do you
yeah.
also, so lavender, rosemary, and are you using castor oil?
No oil. I'm just putting it
Oh,
right, dropping it directly into the brand new mascara tube. Now, as the month goes along, when I'm using my mascara, I've also found something else that might help some of you. When you feel like your mascara is running out, I bet you have much more in there. So what I do then is I add a couple of drops of vitamin E oil. Shake it up, and I extended at least another month for that mascara tube. So if you got a favorite mascara, you hate for it to run out, right? So that's what I've discovered with that. I've got basically some various kinds of information here today. And I'm making sure that I say that this here because a lot of people don't necessarily check their doTERRA emails or like the Facebook groups and stuff. So if you're not in Roxanne's doTERRA family Facebook group yet, be sure and get yourself in there. Join it, please, because whenever one of these announcements comes out from doTERRA, I get it right away and I put it in there. So this is where you can get the latest and important information, especially about products that might be unavailable or are coming back into availability. So back in stock right now is the Sun Lip Balm. Oh, do I love that thing. And I forgot to grab it out of my bathroom to show you, but the Sun Lip Balm, it feels good going on. You don't look like a white ghost. It's mineral sunscreen, not chemical sunscreen. So that's a really good thing because we don't want the chemical sunscreens in our body. So Sandy's holding up. Thank you, Sandy. Thank you, Vanna. Um, and so we don't want the chemical sunscreens like oxybenzone is a bad one, and you'll find that in many sunscreens out there, but not in doTERRA's. And the Sun Lip Balm is very soothing to the lips, and it has a 20 SPF, which is a pretty darn good protective factor. The Tri-Ease soft gels are back in stock, and they are the perfect answer to reactions to our environment, like that kitty that just wants to make you sneeze all the time, or the goldenrod that stuffs you up and gets your eyes itching like crazy. The Tri-Ease soft gels are for any of those kinds of reactive situations that you might be living with. And it basically is a very simple soft gel. It's got in it 2 drops each of lavender, lemon, and peppermint. And so rather than drinking those in a shot, which not everybody wants to do the shot, oil shots like I do, but they come in the nice convenient soft gel. DDR Prime soft gels are also back in stock, and that's what you need to help damaged or mutated cells by triggering apoptosis, which is the scientific early death of cells. Every cell has a life cycle, and apoptosis is part of it. We all die, right? And so cells die as well. So it will help trigger that to get those bad cells out of us before they can reproduce and reproduce and reproduce and cause you know what. The DDR Prime soft gels contain frankincense, lemongrass, lime, thyme, clove, and linseed, among other oils. So those are the big heavy hitters in DDR Prime. And they also, like thyme, lemongrass, and linseed, have a real bite to them as a pure oil. And so, like I know I take the DDR oil in my shot every morning and every night, but it's got a bite to it. Not everybody wants to live with that. So they don't do that, but the soft gels are an easy way, and there are 4 drops of DDR Prime in each soft gel, so it's a heavy hitter for those situations in your life that you might want to really be proactive on, like I am, or be reactive to and try and get a handle on them. They're very powerful and much tastier than the oil that I take in twice a day. So help yourself to those DDR Prime soft gels. The protein powders are back. They just came back, I think, yesterday or the day before, but very limited. Once they're sold out, they will never return. And I want to explain that to you. Uh-oh, Sandy's reacting. Um, the reason is doTERRA is trying to narrow their lane of offerings or their line of offerings to focus more on essential oil products. I don't think there is an essential oil in our protein products, so they're going to get rid of those. So sorry about that for our protein lovers. And because they were sold out, I ventured away from them anyway. So, but if you love them, you want to get as many as you can right now. And I don't know if there's even a limit on purchasing them. Now, I've got to tell you too, something I'm going through, and those of you who were on my, who've seen my Lunch and Learn replay already know this. I am about to move. I'm not sure exactly when, but it'll be sometime within the next couple of months, I believe. And so we are charged because our purchase of our ideal condo happened so fast, just like a week ago or so. And we've been completely overloaded with tasks to do, from financing to getting our place decluttered and cleaned out and packed up in order to sell the house that we live in now. So, of course, there's quite a bit of stress involved, right? So, what am I doing personally to help myself with stress? And what am I diffusing around the house all the time? Well, one thing I'm personally using, and I discovered this out of desperation one night, even though I was taking my Serenity soft gels as usual, I still was feeling like my mind was just not letting go of some of my numerous thoughts. So I needed more help with my sleep. And I'm already using the sleep system. So we're talking pretty heavy stress here. So what did I reach out for? Vetiver. And that's not an oil I have ever really gotten into the habit of using. So I looked it up and I've learned just from personal experience how good it is for sleep, as well as focus, as well as for, and this is the surprise to me, joint and muscle discomfort. Vetiver is great for that. So in the middle of the night when I get up to use the toilet, I am reapplying the vetiver to my chest, up and down my spine, across the back of my neck, because I'm getting such great results from it. It is called the oil of centering and descent to make us more rooted in life. Vetiver is Vetiver is a great oil to use when we're feeling split between different priorities, which of course we are right now. Which room do we empty out first? Which box do I pack up first? Do I return this call or do I get on my fun Zoom? Things like that. So when we're torn between priorities, people, and activities, Vetiver will help us tremendously because it helps us connect with what we think and feel. It helps uncover the root of an emotional issue. Vetiver challenges our need to escape our pain. Vetiver won't let us quit, getting us to the core of what is going on emotionally. Vetiver helps us to feel centered, grounded, present, and discover our deeper emotional connections. So it is a huge help with stress, apathy, feeling scattered, which scattered is like me personified right now. It's perfect for attention issues, concentration, focus, sleep problems, sadness, irritability, aging skin, believe it or not. I'm hoping I'm going to look like I'm 30 years old by the time I'm done this move. Nerve stuff and numbness. So why wouldn't we use vetiver, right? Vetiver is a tremendously powerful oil that comes from a fast growing grass that grows in Haiti. And how they how they harvest it is they'll cut off the grass because it's a tall growing grass. They'll cut it off to maybe 8 inches high with a machete. Then they literally yank it up out of the soil, pound the roots like there's no tomorrow to try to get as much dirt off the roots because this oil comes from the roots. Hence why vetiver, in my opinion, smells like dirt, which is one reason I have never gravitated towards it because it wasn't a pleasant smell for me. But now, because it's giving me so much that I have absolutely need, I am using that sucker every single day. And I know that from the past, in talking with mothers of kids who have learning challenges, vetiver has been a godsend. So vetiver is tremendous for any of these things. Now, Sandy talked about rosemary, but are you aware it is called the oil of knowledge for memory, focus, and mental clarity? It supports us to feel confident, assured in times of great change and transition. I guess that's shouting out to me, right? Shouting out to me for sure, because we are definitely transitioning. And I've got to tell you something. What a move like this does for people, as you're not only are you just trying to declutter, and you know how Marie Canto, the great decluttering genius out there, says, if you haven't used it in so many years, haven't seen it for a while, get rid of it. But one thing we are, both my husband and I are discovering is there's a lot of emotions in getting rid of stuff. And not only are you looking at the piece or the book or whatever, you're looking at what it means to you and what it has done for you in the past. So, rosemary is great because it helps with our understanding and our perspective. It really helps when we're feeling confused or ignorant about something. Like, I am completely ignorant um, about finances, not finances in general, but like mortgages and all the details that go along with that. And that's one thing that's been driving Harvey absolutely bonkers, is getting all these documents via his phone, and he's expected to use DocuSign on his phone and read all these documents and stuff. And the financial guy came by the other day to pick up something, and I said, I don't know what we're doing here. I said, I can help Harvey with the logistics of DocuSign and all that, but I am lost when it comes time for understanding the monthly payment and all that stuff. And this is kind of a bridge loan between the sale of our house and the purchase of this condo. So it's very, very complicated. So Rosemary is helping me understand better and retain this whole financial piece that we have to deal with too, besides just selling the house. And it's so good to know when we can use natural things so effectively and reliably, and they're so powerful. That's the part that gets me every time I use these oils, is they are just so powerful and like answering a prayer. Now, what about tea tree? Tea tree emotionally is great for releasing toxic, codependent, or parasitic relationships. So if you're in a relationship right now that is sucking you dry, or you're feeling, if you're an empath like my younger daughter is, and you're with people who are quite needy and you are a giving person, the tea tree can help you in that situation. It can help you keep healthy connections that honor your personal space and boundaries. Tea tree helps us feel empowered, resilient, and honors others' agency as well. So, tea tree is another one that can help us all very much emotionally. Now, this month, oh shoot, I've got to grab something right now. So, hang on one second. Things are such a mess here. I've got a little pilot here I want to show you. This month, doTERRA has, again, for a couple of limited time offers, the Harvest Spice Oil with the Pilot Diffuser. The Pilot Diffuser and the Harvest Spice are available, and the Pilot comes in a box, but inside the box is this lovely little carrying bag And so you open it up, and in it is the diffuser, and it's strapped in there for safety. And there are even little pockets for oil bottles in there. And it comes with a USB um, for your car. And it's a perfect little car diffuser, although I use it in Florida all the time because it's so easy to pack. And it's very reliable and it's portable. So you recharge it with your USB, and you can do that right off your computer if you want to. And just then unplug it, take it in your car. It fits perfectly in the cup holder of your car. So that Pilot diffuser is a great deal right now. Or you can get the Harvest Spice by itself if you want. The Harvest Spice has very warming scents, including certified pure tested grade oils of cassia, clove, eucalyptus, cedarwood, and cinnamon bark. Harvest Spice creates a comforting ambiance while also freshening the air and welcoming autumn into your home. And the Pilot diffuser is the perfect companion for Harvest Spice. It can go anywhere you go, to work, in your car, or from room to room. It's convenient and mess proof because the top locks on. So when you get it and you unlock it and you put a little bit of water in there with your oil, and then you lock the top back on. So if it happens to spill over, it doesn't spill out. Um, and so it's great for smaller spaces, and it will work for 4 hours continuously, or it will work for 8 hours of intermittent diffusion. And so it boasts a very compact, neutral design that works in every setting. Now, I just also need to point out that clove and eucalyptus are also heavy hitters in terms of pathogenic protection. So if we're around people, you've just gone into a busy grocery store and you're coming back in your car, know that diffusing the Harvest Spice is going to help your health by protecting you in those situations where maybe you've been exposed to various germs. And of course, cinnamon and cassia are really good too for minimizing cravings and for decreasing appetite, as well as balancing blood sugar. Now, when the leaves change colors and the air turns crisp, there's nothing quite like the comforting embrace of a creamy vanilla chai at your favorite cafe. Well, doTERRA brings that soothing warmth into your home with vanilla chai spiced blend. So you can transform your favorite space into a sanctuary of autumn inspired bliss with this incredible essential oil blend. And what's in it? Again, CPTG oils of cedarwood, siam wood, vanilla, clove, Peru balsam, ginger, and benzoin. And ginger, by the way, is a key in my little protocol that I use every day in my oil shot twice a day proactively to keep my hip quiet. If you know what I mean, sometimes that hip can kind of go bonkers and kind of shoot down some discomfort down your leg. Well, it's really good for that. Ginger is part of that protocol. And if you ever need that exact recipe, let me know. And I can remember off the top of my head, there's pink pepper in that protocol, ginger, copaiba. I think there's 5 oils in it, but I can't remember off the top of my head right now. But let me know if you need that protocol and I can email it back to you. So, what is it you are going through in your own life right now? Are you getting kids ready to go back to school? Are you getting ready to travel on to a new and exciting place like Joy Summers will be doing pretty soon, I'm sure? She doesn't stay in one place too long, so I'm gonna be excited here in a minute to ask her where she's going. But these kinds of challenges, starting a new job, for example, In fact, somebody was just telling me the other day, his niece just finished accounting school and is starting a job in forensic accounting in New York City at a big firm and starting out at $107,000 a year just out of college. And I'm thinking, whoa, that's pretty impressive. But she's also facing the stress of a move to the big city as well as taking on this job too. So I'm hoping that she'll have some ways of keeping her stress well managed. But whatever stress you're dealing with, whether it's moving, just even just decluttering because you need to, and I keep promising myself I'm going to be better in the next place so I don't have to deal with this ever again. But 27 years in one place does result in a lot of sticking something on a shelf and then forgetting about it. I know I found 3 diffusers that had never, ever been out of their package the other day. Well, luckily, I've had some people who needed diffusers, and so that worked out well for the two of us. But sometimes when you're dealing with your life and you're not really sure how to get through it all, sometimes your oils can be just the salvation that you need. So make sure that you're using safe, pure, effective, and reliable tools whenever you are reaching out for something to help you out. And of course, helping others along the way is super important too. With our refer a friend links, every time you actually share your link and tell them to make sure and order from the link directly in order to get a free year membership with doTERRA. And so that helps another person to get their journey started with doTERRA because maybe they only wanted one oil and they weren't willing to just go directly to the website and pay that membership fee, which I think is kind of foolish anyway. Why do you want to pay the membership fee when you can get it free from one of us wellness advocates? And all three of us on right now are wellness advocates, as well as Dr. Marie. So make sure and reach out anytime that you have a friend. If you're not sure how to even use your refer a friend link, make sure and let us know so we can talk you through that because it helps you as well. Now, will you check out this Friday, August 15th? There is a free foundational wellness workshop being put on by doTERRA, and it'll be between 12 and 5 p.m., I think, Eastern Standard Time. And on here will be lots of scientists talking about the products and about foundational wellness, being well and taking good care of yourselves. Because let's face it, our healthcare system can't do that for us. It's really not a healthcare system, it's really a sick care system. And every time I'm turning around, I'm hearing more complaints about it and how people are waiting 6 months or more for referrals and things like that. Well, why wait? Why not try a pure natural solution that may help you? And maybe you'll even be able to cancel that appointment down the road if you do get one. So, um, tune into that if you can. I will include that registration link in the replay email for people who haven't registered yet. It is free. And I know they've done a couple of these before and they keep getting better and better each time. And you can pop in and out. They will not record it, however, because I think there may be some things that their legal department would need to take care of in terms of compliance. So I think they want the scientists to be as honest and real as possible on it. So if you're going to check it out, please check it out. Put in your headphones and listen while you're cooking dinner or something like that. I mean, whatever you need to do to listen to pieces of it. And I know before they've always had, so just as a little heads up in case they do it again, they will often at the end of a segment, they will say, record a testimony on why you use this oil and send it to us immediately. And I've won $25 gift certificates from doTERRA doing that in the last couple of workshops. So just so your heads up, and they don't have to be perfect. They're just asking you to do it on your phone, and it needs to be under a minute long. So, something to think about. So, we are almost wrapping up, but our next fun Zoom will be September 13th. That's a Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. So, make sure you put that in your calendar so you don't miss out. And now we're going to stop the recording and well, first, let me just ask Joy, tell us a little bit about what's up for you next, Joy.
Let's see. So I'm in America until like beginning of September, and then I will be based. Yeah, I signed a 3-year lease on a villa in Dubai. So I will be officially plumped down, commitment loaded for Dubai, doing a bunch of nutrition stuff and online coaching. I just came out with my own coaching app. So it's a platform that creates individualized meal plans and training programs for clients.
Excellent, excellent. If you send me any link that
Yeah.
people could use to touch base with you, I'll put that in the replay email, but I'll need it soon, like within the next hour or two, okay? So I can get that out to everybody. That's great. Thank you so much. You're such a great resource, Joy.
You're so welcome.
We're so happy you could be here today. And Sandy, have you got anything to add before we sign off?
I don't think so.
Well, anybody who's in the Bangor, Orono area, make sure and stop into the Family Dog Restaurant. It's right near University of Maine, and Sandy will be going up there soon today, I'm sure of it. So listen, Sandy and Joy, thank you so much. We're so happy that we got to do this together, and I love you all.
Love ya. Bye.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
guys. See you next month.